Denzel Aberdeen has entered the transfer portal. National champion Denzel Aberdeen. He was in line to be a breakout star at Florida. Many people, including I think both of us, expected that. He's been a
Yep.
Gator for 3 seasons. He had his best season of his career this junior year in the national championship run. He started 5 games, played in all 39, played 20 minutes a game, averaged 7.7 points a game, 1.5 assists as well, shot 35% from three. Look, he really was just a scorer, like a little lightning bug, scoring punch off the bench guy at Florida. But in those flashes, he showed some big time ability that makes everybody believe he could end up a star as a senior, whether at
Mhm.
Florida or elsewhere. The way that Florida has moved this offseason since winning the title, I think most people assumed that we were going to lock in a Denzel Aberdeen Xavier Lee backcourt and feel great about it for the Florida Gators to potentially make another Final Four run. However, things change, and with a lot of movement in the last 48 hours, a lot of big name guards have entered the portal. Who knows if this is Aberdeen moving on his own? Who knows if this is maybe Florida saying we're going to line up something else in addition to Xavier Lee and leaving Denzel Aberdeen in a weird spot? Maybe it's both. Who knows? But what is your instant reaction to the news that Denzel Aberdeen has entered the portal?
Very surprised. This is a kid who's from Orlando. This is a kid who is a Florida kid. Spent the last 3 years at Florida building into gradually bigger roles every year, right? If you think of the traditional college experience that old folks like to talk about, where you went to school and you stayed at the same school for 4 years and you went from being a bench guy and eventually got to be a starter and you developed all that stuff. Like he was on that path for his home state school that just won a national championship, and he was set to essentially bear the fruits of all of that and be, if not the lead guard, one of the lead guards, a starter on the defending national champions. With all of that kind of not baggage, but all of that background building into that. So for him to leave, I think indicates that somebody is promising him something or telling him he can get certain things elsewhere. Because this is not about role, I don't think. You're not going to go from Florida all of a sudden to go to somewhere where Aberdeen is like your unquestioned top guy, because he could have been potentially the top guy at Florida this year. I think it probably has more to do with a school offering a bag or schools offering a bag as opposed to anything with Florida. Maybe Florida didn't want to match that.
I think you're probably right. Like if we're look, this happened 15 minutes ago, right? So we're reacting kind of instantly here. I'm sure we'll have more coverage as more specifics come out on what happened here. But given the surprising nature of this, it really does feel like it becomes like a little bit of a whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did Todd Golden walk into his office and say, "Hey, Denzel, we're going to recruit over you. You're welcome to stay, but you're staying in the same six-man role"? Or did Denzel Aberdeen leave on his own volition and kind of surprise the Gators? My gut would be where your gut is, that it was Denzel Aberdeen surprising Florida. I think the way Florida has prioritized targets this offseason indicates they were looking for one guard in the portal, not multiple. Otherwise, we would have seen them connected to a bunch of people. Really, all they've done is go after Xavier Lee right now. And you and I speculated this in the PJ Haggerty video. Maybe he could end up in Florida, but they haven't been throwing around that name until now. That's going to be a reactive move by Florida, if anything, not a proactive move. So I'm with you. I think this is Aberdeen's own imagination running wild on what he wants in his final year. And any early indication of what you think that could be?
You might notice there's a lot of lights on behind me. There's a big ring light I'm using to record this. You want to know why those lights stay on? Because of Underdog, because of these ad reads, people.
Yeah, we heard your feedback. You're annoyed that we keep putting Underdog ads in the middle of our videos. Well, guess what? We got to keep the lights on, and we need some people to sign up for Underdog Fantasy. If you like these videos, if you want us to keep making videos, sign up with Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code SLEEPERS, and they actually have an awesome offer for you. You can receive up to $1,000 in bonus credits. 50% of your first deposit will be distributed in bonus credits, and you get a free pick. And Cart, I got a pick with Underdog Fantasy for this weekend that I'm already eyeing. We got the Pistons and the Knicks, first playoff series in a while for our favorite team. Cade Cunningham over 27.5 points. I'm taking higher than that for my pick with Underdog. Promo code Sleepers. Sign up with Underdog Fantasy. It helps the show. It helps us keep making these videos for you. Back to the show.
If I'm going to lean into I think a bag brought him into the portal. I think you look at all of the big bag schools, the big money schools, BYU, Texas Tech. Louisville's already stacked up on guards. Maybe Kentucky decided they wanted to try and get in there in the mix as well. Any of these schools that are throwing big money around would be ones I'd look out for.
Okay. So I'll say this. I would be surprised if BYU made a move on Denzel Aberdeen. I think where they're currently building is like, respectfully to Aberdeen, bigger brand names. Like if they want to throw a bag at one more piece to solidify this starting lineup, I don't think they're after Florida's sixth man. So I think there has to be a level of like some staff has watched this kid and believes there's something there to coerce him into doing this. You mentioned Texas Tech. Texas Tech, who had Florida on the ropes in the NCAA tournament recently, got an up close and personal look at Denzel Aberdeen. Texas Tech also, by the way, let's just talk positionally. They got Lawan Watts in the fold. They're waiting on Darion Williams' return. JT Toppin's back. Christian Anderson's back. They don't got a shooting guard right now that they feel fantastic about. So of the two you mentioned, I feel like Tech might be the team here. Any thoughts?
That would make more sense. Maybe BYU wants some championship pedigree, somebody to serve as the leader for these guys. Could be something. And we've also talked a number of videos. Gonzaga needs a guard. Gonzaga needs stuff. And so that could make sense too if they wanted to put a bag down. My thing is just I don't think he does this. He's not on an NBA draft track right now, right? So this is one last chance to go get a pretty good bag. I think that's why he's in the portal, is to go bag chasing.
Shout out to him for waiting till after Xavier Lee's visit, though. I'm sure he had a fun time at the nightclub convincing Xavier Lee to come take his spot. So that was well done. I'm going to end with this. This is personal belief, but you tell me if you agree or disagree. I believe this development, while it will end up good for whoever gets Denzel Aberdeen, I'm sure they'll be happy. I think this is a good development for Florida. If you're telling me Florida's original plan was Xavier Lee and Denzel Aberdeen is our backcourt, pair them with the national title front court, and let's see what happens. My strong belief is that backcourt's not good enough to make a Final Four run. Goodbye, Denzel Aberdeen. Oh my God, now we have a hole. PJ Haggerty's in the portal. If they make that switch, even if they didn't intend to, I think Florida is going to stumble forward into a better result here. Do you agree or disagree with me there?
I think it opens up the potential. It's the front end of potentially that move Florida has to follow through on the back end.
Work to do, but Todd Golden, good at doing work, as evidenced by his national championship run. All right, we'll have more coverage of Denzel Aberdeen's portal recruitment as it progresses. Thanks for watching, everybody.